take a second to look around. I can feel the smiles, let me break it down. Take it up with computer love. Futureland, the plug, hit you with a buzz.
I am Nikki B.
And I'm just Joseph.
And we are the host of Futureland365 right here on 95.9 WOVU. And we just had a great, awesome, and amazing conversation with the Monday program.
Yeah, we had Cory Grand, we had Trav Hen and Cassius G, and they had me hyped. They had me ready to make some music myself. So, hey, y'all got to tune in to this episode.
And I'm going to be on the track too.
Yeah, you got to hop on.
So you don't want to miss this episode. Peace. Hey. Gonna let that play a little bit.
Just let that vibe out.
I think so, right?
It's real smooth.
Real smooth. All right, you all. Awesome and amazing day. Welcome to Futureland365 Radio and Podcast Show, where we spotlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creators. I am Nikki B.
And I'm just Joseph. And we in the building.
In the building, grooving, having a good time, vibing
always,
it out.
As always. That's what we do here.
For sure.
Yeah,
I love
that.
A
good time. I'm excited about today's show.
I am so pumped up right now because the music that we just vibed out to, like we do every week.
Right.
We have the creators of that, right?
Yeah, what's good,
So
fellas?
this is a special one.
What's up?
Hello, you all.
How you doing?
So y'all like, who are these individuals, right? So we have Mr. Cory Grand in the building.
Yes.
We got Trav in the building.
Here.
Yes. And we got Cass, producer.
Cassius G.
Cassius G.
Cassius G.
Welcome.
Appreciate y'all having us.
Yeah, so y'all are the creators of the Monday program. Well, I want you to talk about it a little bit, Cory, because you're the mastermind behind it.
For sure.
Kind of talk about that and like the song that we was rocking out to and jamming to, that is kind of like the staple of our sound that we curate. And so I guess you the mastermind behind that. So talk a little bit about it.
Well, Monday program just started from this small idea of like, let's have these Mondays where we come together and we're going to almost treat it like a workshop. So like, let's say this Monday, maybe we're going to get together with some DJs and we'll work on some scratchings.
Nice.
Maybe the next Monday we'll work on production. And that idea kind of fell to the side. And then maybe about 6 months, I was still kind of like toying with what should we do? And then that turned into like me and a couple friends, Walker OG, my homie Mario, Unknown Phrases. We just was like, hey, every Monday we're going to start practicing just making beats.
Yeah.
Like we're going to come together and just iron sharpens iron. And I mean, the first one we tried to do was an ultimate failure. Like none of the equipment worked right. Nothing worked right. And we were like, yo, we're just going to stop this and try this again next week. And I think that next week, everything was amazing. Yeah. We had never really been in an environment like that where we're all just kind of like working together, like where it's just one big jam session. And that has went from having my second bedroom and my apartment at the time, sessions from there that has turned into us creating music, working with more artists, not even just musicians, but just artists in general. Like more so getting into the art of collaboration. And just, that transcended to us having shows. We did Rock Hall. We've done so many, Bright Winter. We've done so many shows and so many things that have been created just from that small idea. So, man, just learning the art of collaboration for real. And that's been really like the biggest beauty of what the Monday program has become. So even like the song that you guys play, like, we went from, like I said, being in the studio every Monday to even just going outside and being like, hey, let's go shoot here, or let's go to this place and, create something. And that way now we can collaborate with this business or this entity or this artist. And, that has turned into so many opportunities. So shout out Alicia too. Shout out Alicia.
Big shout out, yes.
So we did that joint actually for Futureland last year. So that was real fun to make. Yeah, that was real fun to make. Cass, he did the bass, he did the chords on it. I did the drums. Obviously, Trav did the vocals. But yeah, that's just what embodies what we do every Monday.
That is really cool.
Yes,
I'm excited. You know,
absolutely.
the artist in me is just like jumping around inside. I'm really my
coming
calm,
off of
cool
you, like-
demeanor don't really show what's happening internally right now. I'm really like
So
bubbling
cool,
up.
So
I love
cool.
it.
But that's what music does, and that's the joy that it brings to other people and other listeners. And like when y'all was creating it, y'all had no idea this was gonna be, you know, our theme song,
Right.
basically. You
Yeah.
feel me? So like,
Right, yeah.
that's kind of get back to
That's
what
crazy.
you said, you know, before we hopped on air. Like, man, you just got to get in and get those reps in. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And just create. And just stop thinking so much. And for me as a creator, I'm always thinking and like, oh man, everything got to be
Yes.
perfect. And
What
sometimes
ifs.
that limits it,
Right.
it limits you as
Do
an
it.
artist and getting
Right.
out there. So Trav, kind of talk about your journey as an artist and model, man. But you know, just stepping out there, being willing to. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of
for
it.
sure.
You know.
I think the biggest thing when you become an artist, you kind of look for a community of people. And I think it's hard to do that, especially when you first starting out, because dealing with your own insecurities and then dealing with people not even knowing what you're capable of, it's like, you kind of find yourself alone trying to do everything yourself, trying to produce, trying to rap, trying to mix, trying to do everything. And so I think tables turned when I did find a community, and that comes from putting myself out there, like being bold to put out that music or perform when you're not your best yet. You're just starting out, you're trying, but then you find something like the Monday program that is a platform for collaboration, and I'm able to pull up. And I feel like my first time even being in a session with multiple artists was at a Monday program session.
Wow.
So I'm sweating like, oh snap, like, you know, because it's like, you know, you just said about like overthinking things and all of that. You don't have time to do that in a session.
Yeah.
You got to pull up. The beat is being made right there. You writing your verse right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you just working that muscle. So I go from writing one verse in a studio session to making a whole entire song. I could write two verses, a hook, a bridge, you know. And it's just being able to have that community just pushed me to evolve. And then when you have someone, who's looking out, and when they are getting booked for performances, they're bringing you on. Like, so it's like, oh, now I'm performing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm performing at Bright Winterfest. And it's not because, you know, I'm lucky. It's just because the work I'm putting in with them, and then the work they're putting in with me, and just the belief in talent. And I think that's the power of like collaboration, when everybody believes in each other. And I think that just pushed me to just evolve more and more as an artist, man. It's been a wonderful journey so far. No complaints.
That's fire, and it's all about the journey. So speaking of the journey, so Cassius G, man, talk a little bit about your journey, because you're a man that wears many hats.
Man, boy, I ain't gonna lie, my journey musically is a bit nomadic. You know, I left Cleveland when I was 20 years old to go to LA, chase a dream. I stayed out there for about 5 years, crossing paths with a lot of different people, you know what I'm saying, and like leaving away with stories that one wouldn't really imagine would be true, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But like, I took all that experience, came back here a better musician, a better person. And it's funny because I ended up moving to Atlanta and then coming back, and that's when I linked up with Cory. Like, it wasn't until what was 2022.
About 2022. Everybody was telling us, like, we got a link. Everybody was like, y'all got a link, man.
Like, we were supposed to link during COVID. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I was not coming outside for nobody.
I feel that.
Once I get sick, I had to take care of my grandma at the time. Like, it wasn't
that's
going.
real.
But yeah, so we ended up linking up, and it, like, from the first session, we just knew, like, nah, we got something. Like, we got to keep this ball rolling.
Yeah.
So it eventually, like, we was working on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, like whenever we could get it in, like, you know, whenever we could get to work, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And in that, I became a better producer too. Like, I already thought highly of myself on production wise, but now it's a little crazy. I think that, like, the work that we've done, I say it humbly, but I don't think that there's anybody that's putting together a collective effort like we have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Just because we are people that not only believe in each other, we trust in each other.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I know, like, you asked me about my journey, but I think my journey is so congruent with the Monday program that it'd be impossible for me not to just mention that. You know what I'm saying?
Drop a bomb on them.
That's a major bomb right there.
Perfectly placed.
Because it sounds like you all, you have so much in common here when it comes to the creative and failing forward, right? Because those are the biggest lessons is when we fail or something doesn't work right. Like, why isn't that working right?
Right.
And then you continue trying and trying. And then to add another level of a component there, you all do it together, right? So, talking about the challenges and the failures, things not working, how do you all work through when something does not work? Or do you use that? Like, oh, well, that actually isn't so bad. So how do you all collaborate together in the challenges?
I think, honestly, it kind of, to piggyback off what Trav said a little bit, they don't really seem as impactful. Failures don't really seem as impactful when you have that community.
Yeah.
Because, it's times like I wake up, maybe I'm not feeling it that day. Maybe I've went through some personal stuff. And it'd be just a day like Trav just one day, just randomly that day will send a message, just like words of encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes even in me and Cass, like just us being in the studio together and just, I don't know, it's like I can't really view them as failures almost because we're just like learning together. Like if we like, okay, we did this and this didn't work, it's like, okay, so how can we combat that? It's a lot different when you're not stewing in your own mind, by yourself. So I think the biggest, and this is speaking from my perspective, obviously y'all can speak on y'all's, but I think at least for me when it comes to that is just having community around you. Like you really can't, like nobody's going to let you fail. Nobody's going to like hold that against you. It doesn't feel like a failure.
I love that.
It doesn't feel like a failure. How do y'all feel about it?
I feel like it's just one of those things where you can't dwell on, I can't even say failures because it's like if something doesn't work, just got to let it go, and like you said, just being blessed enough to have people that you do work with creatively also be your friends, or you form these relationships and bonds with them because we've been working together for so many years now. We come in just thinking it's a studio session. Next thing you know, you look up, it's 3 years later, and it's like, oh, we low-key brothers for real. Like, it's like, I can call you if I'm going through something, or sometimes how life works is like I might be off, but Cory might be on. So he able to motivate me, and it's like you don't feel guilty, but when you see other people around you working hard, you kind of like, all right, let me get up. I might have a bad day, but it's like, let me go over there to the studio and write something, and next thing you know, it's a banger. You know what I'm saying? Or next thing you know, you getting called for an opportunity to do a song for Futureland, and it's community, man. Just having people actually being in your corner, not just for opportunities. Like we depend on each other.
It's like when that happens, when you get that call, then it's like the failures don't mean anything. So it's like, you can't, like he said, you can't dwell on those failures because once you get that, once, I mean, at the end of the day, opportunity is opportunity. And it's like, that's what we work for, essentially. Like we want to obviously put our art out to the world and we want that art to shine. But it's like once those opportunities do come through from your hard work, you're not even thinking about the failures.
Right.
Like if you go out and you scored, you had a bad night, you didn't score as much as you wanted to, and then that next night you come out and you can't miss and you put up 35, you know what I'm saying, 5 and 8 or something. Like it's like you're not even thinking about that night.
But it's really because of that. You don't look at it as a failure. You look at it as a learning opportunity and something to get better, because that's literally what pushes you to get back in the gym,
100%.
to get back into focusing on your craft. Like, you know what, the humility to be like, I need to continue working. I need to study film. I need to see. And then you come out, you have a good game because that was a part of the story. So it's like you talking about earlier how like the first time you got together together to do it, the equipment wasn't working. Imagine if you would have stopped there, right? But now you kept going, and now you got a story to tell because of it, and it makes it that much better. And a lot of times when I'm writing music, some of my best music come from my worst pain, and I know y'all can relate to that. It's like, man, let me talk about what I'm really going through, and that's what the people resonate with. So it's like, really, if that stuff never happened, I wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
Can I just say something real quick? Can we change the language just real quick?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Instead of us calling it failure, because I think that when I think of the word failure, that insinuates that we got absolutely nothing out of it. Right? So it's not a failure. It's an event. It happened. You know what I'm saying? But for me to call something a failure, that means that nothing was gained from it. Right. And you're going to learn. You're obviously learn something from it, no matter what the hurdle is. You know what I mean?
I love that. And language is important, so I appreciate you saying that.
You can learn a lot by the language someone chooses to use. So, and you can identify those leaders and those positive impactors, innovators, and creators by the language they choose to use. So thank you for thank you for pausing us, right, to make sure that we understood that, because we want to make sure our listeners understand that too, and have
Power
positive
words.
language,
It's
right?
important,
Because there's a frequency that we're putting out. So thank you for sharing that. That's so important. So you all, we learned so much already about the Monday program. We learned that there are leaders, creators, innovators, and they work well together. So you all, when we come back, I can't wait to get into some of their entrepreneur journey. So what do you think about that?
I love it. Yeah, I'm ready to get through this break so we can get right back. So stay tuned for more.
We'll be right back, you all. Yeah, and we're back, all. Welcome back to Futureland365. I am Nikki B.
And I'm just Joseph.
We just had an amazing session.
Right. During the break. I was ready to freestyle. We got Cory Grand, the one and only. We got Trav, the one and only. We got Cassius G, the one and only. I mean, we got some heavy hitters in here today.
Heavy hitters, yes.
And they making things happen, and they showing, they're tearing down a terrible narrative that in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? They're showing that we can come together and produce a lot of fruit together, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's the best way, really to make things happen. So many people are trying to do things in isolation, but they say, you know what? Let's come together. Let's put our talents together. I feel like, what's that one show? Let's put
all our powers combined. We are Captain Planet. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They are here, Captain Cleveland in the building.
Captain Cleveland.
I love
Joseph, I love that.
They killing it.
Yeah, the Monday program is definitely sharing with us that it is not okay to isolate, right?
Yeah.
It is best to be in community, because before you know it, 3 years later, we're brothers.
Right. Sure. I think the biggest theme I got, the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron, and I hear that from everything that y'all said. Like, if I'm off, I'm not having a bad day, somebody's there to pick me up. If I don't feel as confident in my craft, somebody's there to encourage me, and next thing you know, y'all, making great music, and also, I mean, it's bigger than music. That's what I'm really hearing. It's really bigger than music.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about that, Cory.
I think for real, honestly, like when the Monday program started to shape into what it is today, I always felt like one of the key pieces that, and kind of back to what you say that we miss here, is community. We all know everybody has their groups that they rock with, their movements that they rock with. And, I think that's beautiful. At the end of the day, like, us as people, we have to find our tribes, like the people that we morally rock with. But I think it's just, I wanted to see musically in the city just culturally be more open-minded. Because even with the Monday program, it's like, all right, so it's us three here, but it's so much deeper than this. It's like Walker OG, Nuke Franklin. It's so many artists, Sierra Delane, Yana, Chelsea Pastel. It's just we just have been blessed to really build a community with the right people. I remember when I was starting out, like, I'm not that good at engineering, you know what I mean? So I'm out here just putting it out, like, to the universe. I need somebody like that can engineer. I didn't even think when he popped in that was gonna happen that way. And then we got cool, and I don't know, I think just that community aspect just means so much. And even if you look at any artist that's successful, or even just not even a musician, but just any type of artist, you know, they have a community built around them. You know, I don't care what level of success they've gotten to, whether it's, you know, extremely high, mid-level, or whatever level that is, they have some type of community built around them. And I wanted to see that for the city. That was like really, really big to me.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I kind of deboed the recording from him. Like,
nah, you good. Hey, listen, you're good.
I think one day we pulled up his laptop and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna take over." You know
he didn't want to tell me my recordings was trash.
He was learning. That's all it was, you know. But even in that, I feel like he done told me a few times, like, he done learned a lot just off of like seeing like my techniques. You know what I'm saying? And like, I ain't the best engineer in the world, but like it's repetition. I kept on learning what sounds I wanted to make, and like working with them and like the different type of styles of music. Like, I've never recorded anybody like Trav before. So like, for me to record Trav and for me to master like mixing his music, I had to learn like what's gonna make him sound most impactful to everybody else. You know, I can't have him on here sounding weak. I have to make him powerful. So
talk a little bit about that. I want to go to Trav with that, because, you know, you have a unique sound, a unique voice, and that's very important to who you are and how you portray yourself as an artist, and having them also to help cultivate that sound. And, you know, what's important to you as an artist?
I think the most important thing for me is, like, I'm a student, so I don't mind sitting back and learning and being coached. But in order to coach me, in order for me to trust you as a coach or a teacher, like, you have to show me that you're paying attention to who I am as an artist. And I feel like they do that. They don't just come in and try to suggest things that aren't me. You know, I mean, I would say no anyway, because I'm outspoken, but it's like, but they don't do that. It's always, when they say try this, it's something that they know is within my style or something that I will be comfortable doing. But I'm also just open-minded, so it's cool working with other open-minded people who like to try different things. I don't like being placed in any box. So when you have people around you who like to push the limit of creativity, that means a lot to me, because that's what I'm all about, and that's how you like innovate. You know, that's how you bring something new to the table and bring something that people just never heard before, or people didn't even know that they will like, and it's like, oh, you put your spin on it, and it's like, oh, I do like that. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is like, I like being a student, and I like being around people who pay attention to who they are leading or collaborating with or working with.
It sounds like the three of you all had that same mentality, though. That you students, y'all haven't arrived at this place of like, oh yeah, I got it all figured out. Y'all display a level of humility, and I think that's why it works. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can stand to be around somebody who will know it all and got it all figured out. And then, you know, usually they don't even have a resume to back up what they, you know, but all of y'all have done some amazing things, and it's just amazing to see that, you know, the humility, and it makes for, you know, just some, you know, real down to earth people that you want to be around. That's the vibe I get from y'all. So I appreciate that.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a great segue to, with you all being innovators and having the Monday program. So with that, because you all are also teachers and students, I know, Cash, when you were just talking about, you know, I took his laptop. You understand, but, you know, because you understand your role, right? And it's so important when you're on a team for each person to be able to understand their role and to also make sure that you master that, right? Because collectively you come together and it's like, okay, right? So you don't have to have this burden or do something you really don't like to do, because it'll show in the art, right? The fruit will show up, right? So with that, I want to know, what initiatives have you all started, or programs with this collective that you all have?
We've so one thing we've been trying to do more is find ways to like almost take what we do in the studio out and create events with them. So like, for example, one of the earlier events we were doing where we would literally break down my entire studio. We were at Sense Pizza for one of them. I think we did another one with I forgot what warehouse we were at, but long story short, we were taking the studio and we were bringing everything out. We had the keyboard, all the music production set up, and we were just inviting anybody to pull up and come out and hang with us. We was literally, I think one event we made 3 beats, and we just had people come put a verse on it. Like, yo, if you want to come put a verse. And it was so cool. Like, some people just came just to be in the environment.
Yeah.
So we've been doing things like just really finding ways to fuse that. Because I don't really see anybody doing anything like that. And especially with kids as well. Yeah. So even some of the Monday videos I was doing, we found ways to, like one of them we did with Wave Space. And we were just kicking it with the kids. They were out at the Huff Library. We just hung out with them. I had my MPC out. They was all playing on it, tearing it up. Right. But it's, our biggest thing is just finding innovative ways to bridge that gap between with the music, but also just finding innovative ways to create events and programs that don't necessarily exist and whatnot. Yeah. And even collaborate with other people that's trying to do the same. Like, shout out Soundbender, K Nice, my guy. He has a DJ school in Cleveland Heights. Like, I want to, we want to, it's super dope. If y'all have not checked it out, please check that out. But even want to do some stuff with him too. So we're just trying to keep finding creative ways to bridge music with events and youth too.
It's such a needed space because, number one, music is a universal language, so it brings people of all different walks together. So to have something, and then another thing is just like the ability to create, it brings people together. Like, just seeing something creative being done like in the process. Like, people like to be a part of the beginning of something to the end. Like, I was a part of that story. Right. So just creating in the moment. That's why, like, I love freestyling. That's really how I got really introduced to hip hop and stuff like that. Just growing up freestyling. Then, I finally started taking it serious around like 2020. But that aspect of it, like on the spot, it just does something. So I can imagine like how the youth would resonate with that. And I just want to see more of that in our city, of just like, how can we, create avenues? Because, violence is a huge thing. Huge, man. And kids just not having no hope or no joy. And what y'all do is all about, outlet. So I would love to be able to collab with you all and figuring out ways that we can, do that. Because if we're talking about Futureland, we got to be talking about the youth and bridging those gaps. So that's what I'm all about.
And hear some of those projects. That's gonna be fire.
That's gonna be fire.
Like I said, I'm gonna be on the track too. I'm like, hello.
It's so crazy too, because last year a friend of mine, you try to find ways to like kind of connect with the youth and give back while you are still trying to find your own journey. But last year I had went to a school just to talk to some kids who were preparing for the talent show. And so it's like we're helping them prepare for the talent show. Like, I'm working with this kid on like his breath control and things like that. And it's like, you don't know what they're going through at home, or somebody at home feel like the talent show is stupid or not paying too much attention to it or whatever. But like, you could tell it meant a lot to them that I was there helping them prepare for that talent show. And I think that's something too, like, people don't even think of that they could probably do just as an initiative, or like to kind of connect with the youth on the music side. It's just everybody throw a talent show every year, every school. And kids nervous, like shook. So having somebody come in there and be like gentle with them and working with them and helping them like maximize their potential, it was just a dope moment. I just think working with kids is just super important, man.
I love the gentleness that you're talking about.
It's important.
You're a gentle giant.
No,
gotta be.
I think that's so important. I was saying this before, that the adults that we are now are the children that we wanted. The adult that we are now is a reflective of the child that we were when we were young. We wanted to be that, So you talked about that earlier, being coachable. Well, you're being coachable because you coach children, right?
Yeah.
So that's reflective of that. And so thank you for taking the time to do that. I'm not sure exactly of your full story. I would love to hear that full story because it sounds like there's so much more with all three of you actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of depth here and a lot of jewels, wisdom, and experience that you could share with individuals who maybe not so much want to do exactly what you're doing, but you all are prime examples of a positive influence here in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's so important. So what does the future of the Monday program look like?
Because
I know you all were talking about earlier that there's so many projects that you're working on, but what does that look like? It's because it sounds international too. Because I love the name, the Monday program.
I'm gonna be honest. I've had high hopes about the Monday program ever since I've been a part of it, right? But the more and more we grow and the more I get to work with my guys, it's like it's apparent that this is way bigger than Cleveland, way bigger than this country. You know what I mean? Just because this is purely authentic music made by authentic people who are morally in check, and that's already just winning the battle, right?
Facts.
You go with that. Everybody looks out for everybody, you know. And then I think the most important part about it, and why I think that we are set up for sustained success, is that everybody checks their ego at the door. Nobody's bigger than anybody. We all fulfill a role here. And we can't let anybody think that they are bigger or they are the reason why anything is, because like it's certain things that we can't do without, you know what I'm saying? And just realizing that we need each other, it disrupts all of the whatever tension might have been inevitable before, because you know with groups or collectives, heads butt, egos clash because somebody wants to be Top Gun or somebody wants to be numero uno all the time or just have a bigger role. But here it's like your role is as big as you contribute. That for sure, you know.
That's it.
That's good.
Yeah. No, he's right too. When we're in the studio, like nobody comes up there like he said. It would be like if somebody came up there with an ego, that would be canceled so quick because of how we all treat it.
Gotta get through.
But I think to piggyback off what he says, just like the future of it is so bright because we're still building. And, you know, Monday program has been around for this fall, it'll be 6 years.
Congratulations. That's
appreciate
huge.
that.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So it's like we're still building on.
We got the applause, bro.
Much love. But yeah, like, you know, we've been around for a little while now. We're still building. I think our biggest thing is like we're still investing back into it so much. And we're still learning too. Yeah. So like we don't want to be, almost like you said, we don't want to be at that place where it feels like we figured everything out, because we don't really want to get too complacent. Like we want to still learn, because we know like, yeah, we are a lot further than when we started, but we still have so much to do and so much to see, so much to experience, so many more stages to hit, and so many more artists, people to connect with. So we're kind of looking at it like it's a journey that is not finished yet. And you know, how many songs do you think, honestly, that we've probably recorded in the last at least 2 to 3 years?
It's itching close to that 100 range. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
It's very close to that, just because like even the stuff that we don't have bounced out, just the ideas that we've started, it's like up there. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. Yeah,
we have a lot. So we just,
and that's not even counting like just the recorded records. Like 'cause we do edits and stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Production,
like dance records and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they're not meant to have no more vocals. It's just supposed to be the beat. So like even that, those count as finished records. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think y'all took over my
yeah, I mean, essentially
y'all took over my catalog.
But we're just investing. We just want to keep investing. I want to be able to, like, when we can bring everything we've worked for to like whatever's that next level, and then like we have everything just kind of like ready. Like we have all these music that we like, okay, we can use this for this. So essentially, I think the biggest thing for us is just that we want to keep building this house. Yeah. And right now the house ain't finished. It's not finished. So we still we want to add some more wings to the house. Right. We want to add a finished basement. We want to do so we just want to keep building.
Absolutely.
Keep building. We do got a project coming out this year called Homeroom. Shameless plug, but we do got an album dropping.
That's not shameless. That's spotlight.
No, we do have an album dropping. It's a lot of collections of music that we made over the last probably 100 Mondays. Right.
It's called Home Run. You said
Homeroom.
Homeroom. That's fire.
So we already got everything kind of geared off with that. He has the lead single. And that video, like I said, to be dropping in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So yeah,
March 24th.
March 24th.
What's the name of the song?
Back in the Days.
Yeah.
It's out too, by the way.
I think you would like it. I think y'all would like it. Especially if y'all like that one. I think y'all would love this.
I heard some of it on your socials.
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually catchy.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Trav got a dope voice
back
too,
in the
man.
days.
Y'all make sure y'all go stream his music. What's your artist name?
Trav Hen.
Trav Hen. Make sure y'all go stream him on every platform.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, lock in with him.
I think that was the first one we did where we was like, we kind of realized, hey, we got something.
Yeah.
Like,
it was he did that bass line. It was over after that. And he did the bass line on it, and I was just sitting back there like,
yeah. It was one of those you just started writing.
like, we made that.
Right.
You like, oh, let me write. I'm about to just start writing. And it was one of them days where I came to the studio when I was not having a good day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It really was, and it's all in the track.
Yeah.
You know,
There you go. That's exactly
that.
what we was talking about.
Yeah.
I want our community to tap in with y'all on social, so make sure y'all shout out yourself out. You can start with you.
So on Instagram, Cassius G 216. CASSIUSG 216. I usually hate when people spell out their Instagram, but I be feeling like people don't be knowing how to spell Cassius sometimes. Because it'll be like cash then us. Like, where you get that from?
Cash US.
Sound like somebody cash out.
Cash us out, you know what I'm saying? But Cassius G 216. That's on Instagram, and TikTok is just Cassius G. I ain't promoting that other website because of y'all know.
Got it.
That's all love.
What about you, Trav?
Mine is It's Trav Hen across all social platforms. So ITSTRAVHEN, and then you can find me on all streaming platforms. Trav Hen, that's TRAV space HEN.
That's dope.
Nice. Yeah. At the Monday program, of course. It's at the Monday program on Instagram, at Monday program on Twitter. And then my personals on everything is just at Cory Grand. Cory with an E, not CORY. Y'all be spelling my name without the E sometimes. I don't like that.
Cory, hey, they think you Cory in the house. You know what I'm saying?
But so at Cory Grand at the Monday program.
Man, we love and appreciate y'all being here. This is dope, and we really want,
amazing.
y'all are a part of Futureland. Y'all, this is,
for sure. We're family.
Y'all home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we want our communities to intertwine with one another, and we want to support y'all and continue 100%. To, platform y'all. That's why y'all here, man. Because we really want y'all to, take ownership of this. So
shout out Futureland too, because a couple. We actually got to do a Monday at Futureland. What was that? Was that 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was so
fun.
Sound like we need to bring that back.
Yeah, we might have to bring that back. That was really fun.
And just do it bigger and better. We learned from the first one. Now we just grow from it.
More fun.
But I would love to be a part of that. Just creating on the spot, because that's we have so many artists, upcoming artists, and just people who love music and all the sectors of creating music, and I think that they would really benefit from seeing people, and then talk about the process as well. So we can have a part where we're breaking that down, and even, man, don't let my mind get to going, but even different breakout rooms, like the producers over here, the writers is over here. Man, come on now, like that. We need that, and our youth needs that. So we're gonna definitely talk about putting something together like that. I think that'd be dope. Well, all our listeners, we need y'all to make sure y'all liking these videos, making sure y'all subscribing to our YouTube channels, following us on Instagram, following us across the board on all of our social media platforms at Futureland CLE. Going to our website. What's our website?
www.futureland365.com.
Yeah.
Drop your email in there, right?
Facts,
So you
yeah.
can keep up with all of the events.
We got some
When
good things going
Futureland
on.
is coming. The conference is coming up at the end of the year, so you don't want to miss that. And other events that go on throughout the city. And you definitely don't want to miss these episodes right here on YouTube, as Just Joseph was just talking about. If you miss us on the radio, you can catch us on YouTube, right?
Yep, facts.
So like, share, and subscribe there. Well, Just Joseph, this was an amazing
This was fun.
show.
This was dope.
So much energy
really dope.
in the room.
Yeah.
And we bring the energy. So times 3.
Just sound like we got to run this one
That
back.
was great. I think we need a part 2 because I know there's so much more with all of these young men here. They're definitely crafting a creative future, right? So 100%. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And so, Just Joseph, what are some of your key takeaways?
Man, the thing I took away most from these brothers right here is the sense of community and the importance of collaboration and checking that ego at the door. It's like, look, I have a gift, but in order for me to really reach my full potential, I need to be around some brothers that see the gift in me and also want to, help cultivate and bring it out more. And you're not going to be able to do that alone. I don't care how talented you are. I've been around a lot of talented individuals, a lot of successful people, and all of them have had people that has helped them to get to where they at. So that's what the biggest takeaway is, that you need a community and to really lean on your community if you want to be successful.
Wow,
100%.
That's huge. I heard talent runs out, but character lasts forever.
Hold on.
Where the explosion? We need the explosion.
Got you. About that.
For sure.
Y'all can put me on the track with that one.
She's trying to get on this track.
No, we got you. We
Oh,
got you.
sure.
That was a gem,
Got
though. I ain't gonna lie. That was a gem right there.
That's my campaign right there. Let me get on the track.
That was hard.
Well, you all, we had an amazing time right here on Futureland 365 with the Monday program, right? That was great. So right here, Futureland 365, 95.9 WOVU, where we spotlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives. I'm Nikki B.
And I'm Just Joseph. And guess what, y'all? We moving on up.
Moving on up.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time.